For the next problem, we'll solve a quadratic equation. We have x times the quantity x minus 2 is equal to 4. Now notice we cannot use the zero product principle in this case because the right-hand side is not set equal to 0. So what we need to do is to distribute on the left-hand side. When we do, we'll have x squared minus 2x is equal to 4. In order to solve this quadratic equation, we'll put it in standard form by subtracting 4 from both sides. And we have x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. It's always a good idea to see if we can factor a quadratic equation, but in this case it doesn't look like we can factor it. So we can apply another method to solve the quadratic equation. And we'll use the quadratic formula in this case. Now remember, we have to identify what a, b, and c are. A is always the constant in front of the x squared term, so a is 1. B is the constant in front of the linear term, so it's negative 2. And c is our constant term, negative 4. And we'll go ahead and we'll substitute a, b, and c into the quadratic formula. Remember, x is equal to negative b, so negative 2, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 2 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 4. And that's all over 2 times a, or 2 times 1. So we just need to simplify this. So x is equal to negative of negative 2 is positive 2, plus or minus the square root of negative 2 when we square it is 4, minus 4 times 1 times negative 4, that will give us positive 16, and that's all over 2. So this simplifies to 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 all over 2. Now let's simplify the square root of 20. We'll do that over here. We get 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 is just 4 times 5, and that's all over 2. So the square root of 4, notice, is 2. So this becomes 2 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 5 all over 2. Now be careful. Don't cancel just this first 2 with this 2 in the denominator, because really we need to make sure we factor the numerator completely before we divide out any like factors. So in the numerator we can actually factor out a 2, and we're going to have 1 plus or minus the square root of 5 left, all divided by 2. Now we can divide out this common factor. 2 over 2 is just 1 over 1. And we can see that we have 1 plus or minus the square root of 5 left. So we're ready to state our solution right here. Our solution is, the solution set is 1 plus or minus the square root of 5.